Have you ever felt like there's something inside you, something greater than what you've been taught to believe? Like there's an unexplainable force pushing you to move forward, even when everything seems uncertain. If you've ever felt like the world around you doesn't quite understand you, or if you've had moments where you felt you were meant for something more, then you're likely one of the chosen ones. The chosen ones are individuals who possess a unique energy, a special calling that's hidden beneath the surface of everyday life. Most people don't even recognize it at first, and even those who do might question what they've seen. But today, you're about to understand that what you've been feeling is real. There's a hidden power within you, one that has always been there, just waiting to awaken. We're here to explore that hidden power, the force that guides you, protects you, and leads you toward your higher purpose. As you read these words, imagine yourself standing at the edge of something incredible. You're about to understand not just the power within you, but the forces that have always been shaping your journey. It's time to stop wondering and start stepping into the truth of who you are. The awakening, realizing you're different. It often starts with a feeling, the kind of feeling you can't quite place, but you know it's there. You walk through life, going through the motions, but something always feels out of sync. You find yourself questioning the everyday things others accept without hesitation. It's like you're looking at the world through a different lens. Do you ever wonder why you don't quite fit in with everyone around you? It's not that you don't try or that you don't care. It's that, deep down, you know you are meant for something bigger than this. I remember the first time I felt that pull. It was a regular day, or so I thought. I was at work, surrounded by colleagues, all engaged in their usual conversations. But suddenly I felt it, an overwhelming sense of isolation. It wasn't loneliness, though. It was a sense of being set apart, as if I was playing a role in a bigger picture, but I couldn't yet see the whole canvas. I looked around, wondering if anyone else felt this strange weight, but no one seemed to notice. It was like I was living in two worlds at once, one where everything appeared normal and the other, where something deep within me was beginning to stir. At first, I shrugged it off. I told myself it was just a phase, a fleeting thought. But then the feeling grew stronger. It wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was a pull, an energy that seemed to be guiding me, nudging me in ways I couldn't explain. It wasn't until I started to listen to this feeling that I realized this wasn't a coincidence. Something much larger than myself was starting to take shape. You might have felt that same feeling at some point, when the world felt off-kilter, or when you wondered why things never quite fit. Maybe it's something that's been nagging at you for years, and you've only started to truly notice now. Maybe you've always had this sense that you're different, even if you didn't know why. If this sounds familiar, then you're not alone. You're one of the chosen ones, called to awaken to something far greater than what your current reality has been showing you. Confronting the doubt, the struggle for belief. Doubt is the shadow that follows every chosen one. No matter how strong the calling or how clear the signs, doubt will always show up to test you. The hardest battle you'll ever face isn't against the world. It's against the voice in your head that tells you it's all in your imagination. When you first realize that you're different, the next challenge becomes confronting that nagging feeling of, am I really special, or am I just fooling myself? I'll be honest, when I first started noticing the signs, when I felt the calling and began seeing the world differently, I didn't believe it. I couldn't. How could someone like me, someone so ordinary, possibly be chosen for anything greater? The people around me were living their lives, following routines, achieving the things they'd set out to do. And then there was me, feeling like I was on the edge of something huge, yet unable to explain it. The fear crept in. What if I was wrong? What if this was just my overactive imagination? I still remember that moment of self-doubt. It was right after a meeting at work. I had this idea, this vision of something incredible, and I shared it. But the room went quiet. A few colleagues made some dismissive comments, and I could feel the weight of judgment in the air. In that moment, I questioned everything. Was I truly onto something, or was I just fooling myself into thinking I had a purpose? I saw the looks exchanged behind my back, the way others downplayed my ideas, and I began to question my worth. It's normal to doubt yourself when you're on the brink of something great. Everyone does it. But the key to overcoming that doubt is to push through it. The world won't always support your vision. People may look at you like you're crazy or self-centered. But in those moments of doubt, that's when you have to dig deeper and remember the feeling you had when you first realized you were different. That feeling wasn't just a passing thought, it was a sign, a call to move forward, no matter the resistance. You may not have all the answers now, but that's okay. The answers come as you take the steps, even when you're not sure where they laid. The hidden forces, the unseen battle. As you step into your purpose, something begins to shift. You notice things about the world you never saw before. The subtle ways in which people interact with you, sometimes with kindness, but other times with a hint of something darker. It's like there's an unseen battle happening around you, one you didn't realize existed until now. I remember walking into a room after an important meeting, only to feel a chill in the air. There were smiles, yes, but they didn't quite reach the eyes of the people I was with. As I sat down at my desk, I could feel the energy shift. It was almost as if I wasn't welcome, as if my success was threatening to others. It wasn't just the cold glances. It was the way certain conversations would shift when I entered the room, the subtle digs, and the whispers that followed me down the hall. The more I succeeded, the more these forces seemed to grow stronger. It wasn't just in the office. It was at home too. Family members who once supported me now seemed distant, as though my progress somehow made them uncomfortable. But here's the thing, those forces aren't just obstacles. They are the very things that confirm you're on the right path. Whenever you step into something bigger than yourself, you will face opposition. It's the law of nature. You see, there's always going to be someone who doesn't want you to succeed. But what you have to remember is that these forces, though powerful, are not in control. You are the one who gets to decide whether you let their whispers, their jealousy, or their negativity affect you. The battle isn't external, it's internal. It's about how you respond to these forces. Recognizing these hidden forces is the first step in mastering them. Once you see the subtle signs of jealousy, manipulation, or attempts to control, you can protect yourself. Your strength lies in your ability to rise above these things, to keep moving forward even when it feels like the world is pushing against you. The universe has put you in this position for a reason, and no matter what forces rise up against you, they cannot stop the divine purpose that's unfolding in your life. In this unseen battle, remember, you are not fighting alone. You are supported by forces greater than anything you can see with your eyes. You are protected by divine power that's working behind the scenes, guiding you, shaping you, and ensuring that you fulfill your destiny. Stay strong, stay focused, and most of all, stay true to the calling that's been placed inside you. The battle is not yours to fight alone, but you are equipped to face it with everything you need. Divine intervention, the arrival of protection. There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart, when the weight of the world presses down on your shoulders and you wonder if you have the strength to keep going. But what if I told you that in those moments of doubt, when it feels like you are standing alone in the storm, there is a force at work that you can't see, but can always feel, a divine force that intervenes when it's needed most. I know what it's like to feel like you're on the edge of losing everything, but then, just when you need it the most, a surge of protection surrounds you, and you realize that you've never been alone. It was my breaking point that brought me to understand the truth about divine intervention. It was a time in my life when everything seemed to be unraveling. A job I loved, relationships that once seemed unbreakable, and dreams I had carefully built, one by one. They began to slip through my fingers. I remember waking up to a day full of uncertainty, feeling like I had been hit by a tidal wave of stress, doubt, and confusion. But then something happened that changed everything. I was walking to work when a sudden sense of calm washed over me. It was like the noise of the world around me faded, and I was enveloped by an unexplainable peace. My phone buzzed, an unexpected message from a friend I hadn't spoken to in months. The message, simple but profound, reminded me of my worth and purpose. It felt like a lifeline thrown just when I thought I was sinking, and that was just the beginning. Over the following days, more signs of divine intervention appeared, small miracles that couldn't be ignored. A random encounter with a stranger who said something that resonated deeply with me, an unexpected offer for a job I had been dreaming of, the support of people who seemed to show up out of nowhere, as if the universe itself was conspiring to lift me up. These moments, though small, gave me the clarity I had been missing. I began to realize that I was being guided, that there was more to my life than what I could see, and that this divine protection had always been around me, even when I couldn't feel it. The universe doesn't leave you unprotected. No matter how dark the path ahead may seem, there are always higher forces at work. They are guiding you, shaping your journey, and ensuring that no matter what happens, you will never fall beyond the reach of their protection. In those moments of doubt, when the world feels too heavy, remember that divine intervention is always present. It might not come in the way you expect, but it will come when you need it most. It's in the gentle whisper of encouragement, the unexpected blessings, and the signs that guide you back to your true path. The protection is real, and it is there to ensure that you continue your journey toward greatness. The power within realizing your strength. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey when they realize something extraordinary, something that changes everything. The power they've been searching for isn't outside of them. It's inside. It's always been inside. I remember the exact moment I came to this realization. It was late at night, and I was sitting in my room, feeling completely overwhelmed by everything that had happened over the past few months. It felt like I had been pushed to my limits, constantly fighting battles both seen and unseen. I felt exhausted, unsure, and on the verge of giving up. That night, as I sat there, I had an overwhelming thought that stopped me dead in my tracks. What if everything I need to overcome this struggle is already within me? The thought was so simple, yet so powerful. I began to reflect on everything I had been through. Every challenge, every heartache, every setback. Each one had been shaping me in ways I hadn't fully understood. I had always looked for answers outside of myself, seeking validation from others, hoping that someone or something would give me the strength to keep going. But the truth hit me like a wave. I had always possessed the strength I needed to overcome anything. It was just buried beneath fear, doubt, and a lack of belief in myself. Once I understood this, everything shifted. I stopped waiting for permission from the world to be great. I stopped searching for answers outside of me. I turned inward, and I discovered an untapped well of power and resilience that had been waiting for me to acknowledge it. That night, I made a decision to stop doubting my own strength. I made a decision to trust the power within me, to step fully into my potential, and to embrace my path with confidence. The same strength I had been looking for in others, the same power I thought I lacked, was already a part of me. It was there all along. And it's the same for you. The power within you is limitless. It's not something you need to search for. It's already in you, waiting for you to recognize it. When you embrace your inner strength, you unlock the ability to face anything. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. You are more powerful than you've been led to believe. You have the strength to move mountains, the courage to face your fears, and the resilience to rise above any adversity. The moment you realize the power within you is the moment everything changes. No longer do you need to search for external validation or support. You become your own source of strength, your own guide, and your own protector. It's time for you to step into your power fully, knowing that you are capable of overcoming anything that stands in your way. The power within you is unstoppable, and once you tap into it, you will become a force of nature, embracing the calling, walking in your purpose. Have you ever had that moment when everything clicks into place, when the confusion fades, the doubts disappear, and you realize exactly what you're meant to do? It's like the universe whispers directly to you, and everything that seemed unclear becomes crystal clear. That's when you know you're truly walking in your purpose. It was in the midst of my greatest struggle that I finally found my calling. Up until that point, I had been searching for purpose in all the wrong places, waiting for someone to tell me what I should be doing, seeking approval from others, and constantly second-guessing myself. But when everything fell apart, when I felt like I had nothing left, I finally stopped. I stopped trying to force a life that wasn't meant for me. I stopped chasing external validation, and for the first time, I listened to what my heart had been telling me all along. I had always known deep down that I was meant for more than just a routine life. There was always this inner knowing that I was here to make an impact, to help others, to lead, and to create change. But I had been too afraid to fully step into it. When I finally embraced my calling, it wasn't a loud, dramatic moment. It wasn't an explosion of fireworks or an earth-shattering revelation. It was a quiet, confident knowing, a sense of peace. I realized that walking in your purpose doesn't always mean taking giant leaps or making huge changes overnight. It's about alignment, aligning yourself with the truth of who you are and what you're here to do. I began to trust that the universe had already laid the path for me, and my job was to simply walk it. I started listening to my intuition more, trusting the signs, and acting with purpose. Every step I took felt right. It felt like I was exactly where I needed to be, doing exactly what I was meant to do. When you embrace your calling, you stop fighting against the current. You stop trying to force things to happen, and instead, you allow life to unfold in perfect timing. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges or setbacks along the way, but now you face them with the confidence that you are exactly where you need to be. Your purpose is a light that guides you forward. When you walk in alignment with it, doors will open, people will show up, and everything will fall into place. Embrace the calling that has always been there for you. Trust that you are on the right path and move forward with confidence and purpose. You are here for a reason, and every step you take is a step closer to fulfilling your divine mission. The world needs you to step fully into your purpose, to rise above the doubt and fear, and to become the person you were always meant to be. So take the step, walk in your purpose, and let the world see your light. You were born for this. The divine test, overcoming the final challenge. There comes a time in every journey where you're faced with your greatest test. It's not a test of your skills or your intelligence, but a test of your heart, your resilience, and your faith. For so long, you've been walking the path, rising above the challenges that come your way, but now this test is different. It's bigger, scarier, and seems impossible to overcome. But it's also the test that will define you. When I faced my final challenge, I didn't see it coming. It wasn't something I could prepare for or anticipate. It was as though the universe had set up this seemingly insurmountable obstacle, one that would require everything I had to move past. At the time, I was at the peak of what I thought was my success. Everything was aligned, and I had finally begun to feel like I had a hold on my purpose. But then, out of nowhere, everything came crashing down. The people I trusted betrayed me. An unexpected personal loss left me in pieces, and my once stable foundation began to crumble beneath me. It was in that moment that I found myself face to face with my greatest fear. I had a choice. I could either let it break me or I could rise above it. The hardest part wasn't the external obstacles, it was the internal battle. It was the voice inside my head telling me that this was too much, that I wasn't strong enough to get through it. It was the fear of failure, the uncertainty of not knowing what the future would hold. But what I didn't realize at the time was that this was the moment that would define my purpose. The universe wasn't testing me because it wanted to break me. It was testing me because it wanted to see how strong I had become. And I had already started to build that strength over the years, piece by piece. The test was never about defeating the obstacle. It was about overcoming the doubt within myself and trusting in the power I had always carried. The first step was simple. I had to believe in myself. I had to trust that I was stronger than I knew and that I had the ability to rise above anything that came my way. And once I made that decision, once I committed to my own strength, everything began to shift. The challenge didn't go away, but my perspective changed. I approached it with a renewed sense of power and clarity. I wasn't a victim of the situation, I was a warrior in the making. I realized that the greatest test was not to avoid the struggle, but to face it head-on with courage. It was in that moment that I understood why we go through challenges in the first place. They're not meant to break us, but to build us. The test may seem impossible, but it's the very thing that will shape us into the person we were always meant to be. And so I faced it. I kept moving forward, even when I didn't have all the answers, even when the fear tried to hold me back. And when I made it to the other side, I realized that I had become someone completely different, someone stronger, more resilient, and more confident in my purpose. If you're facing your final challenge, remember this: it's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to help you discover the depths of your strength and to show you just how far you've come. You have already survived so much. This is just one more step in your evolution, and when you overcome it, you'll be closer than ever to your divine purpose. The light within becoming the beacon of hope. There's a shift that happens when you fully embrace your power and your purpose. A moment when you realize that the light within you is no longer just something you carry for yourself, but something that can illuminate the path for others. It's as if, by embracing your own journey, you become a beacon of hope for those who are still searching. I'll never forget the first time I realized that my journey wasn't just about me. It was during a particularly dark period, when everything felt uncertain and I wasn't sure if I could keep going. But something changed when I started to share my story with others. I remember opening up to a friend about the struggles I had faced, the doubts that tried to consume me, and the obstacles that had threatened to derail my path. And as I spoke, I saw a shift in her eyes. It was like a spark had been lit in her. She saw that I had made it through, that I had survived, and for the first time, she realized that maybe she could do the same. That moment changed me. I had spent so much time focusing on my own challenges that I never realized how my experiences could help others. But in that instant, I saw that my journey wasn't just mine to carry. It was a story meant to be shared, a light meant to be passed on. You have a light within you too. It's not just a personal strength, but a guiding force for those around you. As you walk through life, you may not always realize how much your actions and words affect others. But when you embrace your own power, when you fully step into your purpose, you become the light for those who are still lost in the dark. This is what being a beacon of hope means. It's not about having all the answers or being perfect. It's about shining your light brightly so others can find their way. The more you embrace your own journey, the more you give others permission to do the same. You become the living proof that it's possible to rise above, to overcome, and to thrive. And in doing so, you create a ripple effect of hope that spreads far beyond what you could ever imagine. As you continue on your path, know this: your light is needed. The world needs people who are willing to step into their power, to face the darkness, and to shine brightly for others to see. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to let your light shine. Because when you do, you become the beacon of hope for someone else. Conclusion: your divine assignment. As we reach the end of this journey, it's time to step back and recognize the greater truth that has always been there, waiting for you to see it. You were chosen for a divine assignment. Every moment, every struggle, every triumph, it was all leading you to this point. You are not here by accident. You are here because the universe has placed you exactly where you need to be to fulfill your purpose. I remember when I finally understood this truth. It came to me quietly, in the stillness of a moment, when everything in my life had calmed down, and I could hear my inner voice clearly for the first time. It was then that I realized that everything I had been through, the hardships, the pain, the doubts, were not obstacles, but stepping stones to my divine assignment. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day struggles and lose sight of the bigger picture. It's easy to think that everything we face is just random or meaningless. But the truth is, every experience you have had has been preparing you for something greater. You are being guided toward your divine assignment, the purpose that only you can fulfill. And it's not just about you. Your purpose is part of a larger plan, a greater movement. When you step fully into your divine assignment, you are not just changing your life, you are changing the lives of those around you and even the world. You are here to lead, to inspire, to create, and to help others find their own light. Your assignment may not always be easy, and it may not always be clear. But as long as you stay true to your calling, as long as you walk in faith and trust in the process, you will find your way. Remember, your journey has always been part of something bigger. You are not alone in this. Divine forces are guiding you, protecting you, and helping you every step of the way. The moment you step fully into your purpose, the moment you embrace your divine assignment, you will unlock a power within you that is beyond anything you have ever known. It's time to step into your greatness, It's time to walk in your purpose, knowing that you are divinely supported. You were born for this. This is your divine assignment. Step forward with confidence, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. Your journey has only just begun.